guys.
We are here with another new episode of the Riker Maneuver. I'm leaning the wrong direction.
What?
I'm reversed. I'm like leaning off frame. I'm Josh. Jordan.
Hey guys.
Sam is out this week. He's
doing stuff.
knocking things off of our desk apparently from beyond. Tonight's episode 13. What was it called?
What's past is Prologue. Did not make sense till the end of the episode. Now we know.
It took us a while to get there. But we know what's going on.
This was a very action-heavy episode.
It was.
It was the most action we've had since
the big Klingon fight.
Oh, I was thinking about the premiere, honestly.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, that was pretty action heavy too. But that Klingon fight on the ship was pretty good too.
Okay, I forgot about that.
When Ash Vogue Tyler,
Vogue Tyler,
Vogue Ash was like,
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh God, how is that going to play out with what we found out at the end of the episode?
Right.
Oh.
So it's going to be interesting. Hey guys in the chat. Hey Ryan, Ariel, Jalen, I see you in there.
Hey,
Brian and Anna Miles. J Tank, I think you're new. I don't recognize you from before. So welcome. I hope you enjoy the show. So let's get into the episode.
Where? What part? The beginning? So much happened.
Yeah.
I want to say that my episode MVP was Saru this week, though.
Yeah.
Saru showed a ton of growth. Yeah, he's now the captain of Discovery.
So we were talking about this while it was airing. Tonight, I think, was the first time we actually got a captain's log.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember hearing that from Lorca before. I mean, he's the only one that we've heard that from, except for.
And maybe Giorgio might have done one.
I don't remember,
but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's been now a couple of months since I've watched, because I haven't.
I didn't go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. You know, I've been a bad fan, and I haven't gone back and rewatched any of the previous episodes, so I'm still working off of my memory. I should really go back and watch them, but I think this was the first time. Yeah, exactly.
When it ends, I want to go back and watch all of them. So next week.
We have two left.
Two left.
So but this episode picked up pretty much where the last one, like immediately where it left off.
Yeah.
So like we're still like, okay, what is the Discovery going to do now that Lorca is not Lorca?
Yeah, Lorca was not Lorca. He immediately started to stage his coup.
Right.
Like he immediately shut down all the agonizers.
Did you realize that all the people that were in the agonizer booths were the people from his coup?
No, I didn't. That did not click for me at first.
Like even last week when we found out that that's what was going on, that he was the Mirror Universe Lorca. Like I still didn't. It didn't click. It didn't click. I was just like, oh, those are, I just figured there were other people who were doing
just other people who did bad things. Yeah. Or that the Emperor didn't like.
Right. Yeah, it didn't occur to me until they all started like walking around, and I was like, oh, that makes
they're
sense
all bad
now.
guys. Literally, actually bad guys.
Well, can you be a bad guy in the Mirror Universe?
You can be worse than the. I mean,
but how do we know which ones are worse?
Last week I was saying that I don't necessarily think the people in the Mirror Universe are bad. They just live by a different set of laws.
Right. So. But with that in mind, like, how do we...
Mutineer is a mutineer. You're still awful.
But what if you're mutineering for the right reasons? Because we don't know whether Lorca actually would have been worse than Giorgio or not.
We don't.
So, I mean, that's like one of those, like mindfuck things.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, what he was doing wasn't necessarily the right way to go about doing things from our moral perspective.
From our point of view.
However...
he may have not been as evil as the Emperor.
Right. We have no way of knowing.
No.
So I found that to be an interesting thing too, because I was like, okay, so
we immediately jumped to he is a bad guy because he's bad in our prime universe.
But was he? Like everything that he was doing was just trying to get home.
Trying to get back home. So it wasn't.
And like he didn't give us any indication that. We don't know why he didn't tell anyone that he was just trying to get home.
Yeah.
But for all we know, he could have been afraid that we would have been like, oh, nope,
But then you had that moment where him and Burnham are fighting, and Burnham says, you should have just told the truth. We would have helped you.
Right.
We wouldn't have killed you. We would have helped you.
But how did he know that?
How did he know that?
Because he's from that universe, so...
Yeah, he doesn't know.
As far as he's concerned, maybe they would have killed him.
Yeah, and then also now you have this question was asked in the comments of last week's episode. So how did he know that Prime Lorca and the Admiral had a relationship? And did he just fake it till he made it? Like, how did that play out?
Okay, so what I'm assuming happened is that the Admiral called him.
Uh-huh.
And was like, hey, babe, what's going on? And he was like...
He got one of those you up texts?
Right. And he was just like, all right, guess I gotta play along with this and see what's going on.
I mean, he was banging everybody in his own universe, so that's not new for him. Because it was the girl who we pulled out of the Agonizer and Burnham, which I did not need that reveal.
Right. So we know just from his conversation with the Admiral that they had a relationship in the past that went far beyond their like the beginning of the binary Star War or whatever. So to me it would seem that he got access to Lorca's files, like maybe access some of his old messages and their discussions between each other. And it was just like, all right, so this is the thing that I'm gonna have to play up because, you know, he learned all about Michael. Yeah. There's so much that he had to learn about our universe that it makes sense that he would have dug into, like, the history of our prime Lorca as well.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the cabins right now, and I'm trying to catch up with it. But the first thing that I saw was people asking what happened to the Mirror Universe discovery, and we don't think there was one. Josh and I talked about this right after the episode ended.
Yeah. So I was really confused about that as well, because I was hoping that before our Prime Discovery got back into the Prime Universe, that we were going to see an episode that took us through the Mirror Universe discovery and what it's been up to. But upon reflection of it now, since the Emperor's flagship had the Spore drive on it and not the Discovery, at least not as far as we know, then it makes sense that there was no
Discovery.
Because if you think about it, back with the other Mirror Universe episodes in the original series, like Kirk and Spock switched places with the Mirror Universe self. Yeah. But in the Enterprise episode, again, at least as far as I can remember and as far as I know, there was no swap. It was just the Defiant got switched over. So just because a ship from our universe goes over to the Mirror Universe doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be vice versa.
The people are mirrored. The ships maybe are not.
Right. Exactly. So there may not have been any change. Or perhaps the discovery from the Mirror Universe is what caused the shift and the Klingon Empire to win.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, there's so much that we don't know now at the end.
Which is the big thing.
Right.
When our Discovery jumps back into our own universe, Stamets miscalculated and they're now 9 months ahead. And that's where the title comes in, what's past is prologue.
Right, because now...
Literally, the past is their prologue. They have to go back and...
Right, whether they time travel back into 9 months or not, to them, these past 9 months are the prologue to what they now have to deal with. They have no idea what's happened these past 9 months.
Yeah, and if anyone watched the next week teaser, trailer, whatever that's called,
promo.
It doesn't look like that they are going to go back in time. Does not look like.
It doesn't look like it, but that doesn't mean that the next couple of episodes aren't going to be them figuring out whether they should or not, and then possibly the cliffhanger at the end of the season could be them being like, okay, let's do it. We're going to go back in time because shit's fucked up now.
Well, the thing is, though, they have the Emperor Georgiou. They have this crazy...
They do, and she's like,
warmonger.
Listen, I'm going to show you how
I'll show you how to win this war.
Yeah.
I'll win this war for you.
Yes.
Which I'm pretty stoked about.
Now,
when Burnham wrapped her arms around her before she beamed back to the ship, I literally started screaming.
I saw that coming. I don't know. I'm sure everyone else did too.
Yeah, well, the notes I have of the episode, I was like, God damn it, I don't want to watch Michelle Yeoh die again.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see the relationship between Michael Burnham and the new
Georgiou.
The new Georgiou.
Clearly looked at her and was like, what the fuck, man?
Right, and... It was a weird moment because she was like, at first she was like, okay, I'm gonna die with honor.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes and go do your thing. And now she's not dead, so like all of a sudden she's like,
what the fuck, man?
So from that perspective, though, like that almost gives her something in common with the Klingons because because I feel like the Klingons would have done the same thing. They'd be like, no, I want to die with honor. I was going to stop all these people from getting to you so that you could go and complete your mission, and then you just fucked that up.
It mirrors what Ash said when Ash got beamed back to the ship. He was like, oh, she should have killed me.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of this.
Yeah, there's a lot going on because now in the preview we saw L'Rell because now we're 9 months ahead
and the Klingons are winning the war.
So they've got a prisoner that also doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Ooh. And they've still got Ash Vogue.
They've still got him. So there's a lot going into the next couple of episodes that we there's still a lot of questions. What questions do you guys have from this episode going into the next episode and even even the end of the season. It seems like there's a lot that's going to be going on.
Dude.
Yeah, there's 2 episodes left. And like I said last week, it seemed like that was kind of like the big holy fuck episode, like what we would get with Game of Thrones. This one was kind of cleaning that up a little bit.
Cleaning up that mess.
This next episode that's coming up
will be another mess cleaner upper.
It's still kind of cleaning up the mess, but setting up what's going to be happening in the finale.
Yes.
And then the finale is either going to be, okay, we're resolving all of this right now, but I don't think that can happen.
I don't either. No.
2 episodes to resolve them,
might actually just pull a Westworld. Like, did you watch that?
Yeah,
Westworld only had like 9 episodes,
right?
And you get to the last 3 where like you have your holy fuck episode, and you're like, okay, so they're gonna pull Game of Thrones and clean everything up. And Westworld basically came in and said, no, fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah, they screwed everything up. I mean, well, so have you? I don't want to go on to a Westworld tangent because like that was one of my favorite shows.
Oh,
like,
me
like
too.
That was so great. I'm so looking forward to that coming back. But by the end of that, they had moved into the second movie, where they had started replacing people with the thing. So I'm really interested to see where that's going. But back to Star Trek.
Which version of Stamets is on the Discovery? It's regular Stamets.
Yeah,
it's our Stamets.
Yeah, because we saw non-Prime Stamets die.
Non-Prime Stamets died. He got vaporized.
Yeah, he got vaporized. That what did you think about that moment? Because
those vaporization graphics are fantastic.
The special effects are great.
It looks awful though. Like it looks like a terrible way to die for whatever reason. They just red lasers and then you're gone.
Right, but like the moment where it looked like she was about to, or not she, when Lorca was about to push him into the drive.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that's going to be interesting. And then they didn't do it.
They just died, yeah.
I was like, okay, we're not going to see that.
It felt a little anticlimactic, I'm not going to lie.
It did. But then we got to see that when Lorca did
it.
Right?
And then also Lorca, I didn't think Lorca's death was anticlimactic.
No. And I kind of saw that coming as the end for him. Like once she stabbed him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like quite dead yet. I was like, that's why we saw that before.
Yeah. I logically knew that Lorca had to die because he didn't belong in the Prime universe, and they now see him as a villain because he manipulated the Discovery and its crew.
Right.
But I didn't necessarily see his death coming from an emotional standpoint, like as somebody who's just on the ride of the show.
Right.
I didn't see it happening right then, so it was a nice gasp moment.
Yeah. It
Especially she just came out with that big sword and was, because Michael was trying to we're just gonna take you as a prisoner. It is what it is. We wouldn't have killed you. And then Georgia was like, no, big sword. Big sword.
That was a big sword.
That was a big
sword. Like he pulled it out. It was like the sword in the stone. And I was like, I am in control now.
Look at me. I'm the captain.
Yeah, and that fight scene too was pretty great. Just with
there was so much action in this episode.
Yeah, it's interesting because in most Enterprise had some decent fight scenes too.
Yes.
The movies, all the fight choreography have been really good. But in the Next Generation and in Voyager and even Deep Space Nine,
not so good.
It was like cheesy 90s
very
action.
90s.
Yeah, where you can see someone go right past the face, and you're like, all right. But in this, it's still there's a little bit of that, but it's a lot cleaner, and the fighting is a lot more realistic.
Yeah. So J Tank asked, where will the Emperor fit in with the crew? New captain. I don't see her sticking around to the end of the season.
Yeah, she's definitely not going to be the new captain.
No.
Not with the mirror universe sensibilities.
Them win the war or help them get forward in the war, and somehow she will exit out.
She'll be working like a
The moon door was Chekhov's gun. Sorry. I love Game of Thrones Iron Throne. That was good. I don't see her sticking around, especially
she might stick around, but she's going to be working in the same capacity that Burnham was when she came on to the Discovery. She's not going to be
a captain.
No, she'll be a consultant.
She has no Starfleet. She's
right.
not. And also, I hate to spoil the magic of it, but Michelle Yeoh is only signed on as a guest star.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think we'll see her past the season. I don't know about Jason Isaacs. Like, do you guys think that we're gonna see Jason Isaacs come back as the Prime Universe Lorca, or is he done?
I think that Lorca died when his ship went down. I think he died with his ship.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, we watched part of After Trek before we came on, so we saw that he was on there talking, but we don't know what the extent of his conversation was. So if any of you guys watched it, let us know if he said anything about coming back. I doubt he would have spoiled that because like,
it was a big moment.
Yeah, it was a huge moment, and like even he said he was like, yeah, I knew what was going on from the beginning because I had to.
He had to. There were so many hints and breadcrumbs given out that he was Mirror Lorca.
Right, and I was talking with one of the guys out in the comic book store. So for those of you guys who don't know, we're not actually
on a ship.
Yeah, we're not on a ship. We are shooting in Manhattan Beach, California, at the Game Hub, which is right next to the Comic Bug, which is a great local comic book store. If you guys read comics, if you guys play board games and you're in the area, you should definitely come and check it out. But I was talking with one of the guys out there, and we were discussing how all of that was going to fit together.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. And can we also give a moment to mourn Lorca's great trench coat this episode? That was such a nice costume. That was great.
So I'm not a cosplay guy. I don't like dressing up. I'll do it at Halloween once in a while. I wear a stupid shoe. Usually I dress up as like a douchebag, and I'll wear like popped collars and
You would. There it is. Look at this.
Stuff. Yeah, you see, that's great. Like I would wear that.
As a costume or just on a Wednesday?
No, just in general. I would wear that out. At least the pants and the jacket.
Yeah, just going to the club.
I don't know what our open sword carrying rules are out here in LA.
But I mean, hey, maybe
it goes with the outfit though, so maybe
it matches the vest.
As long as you don't grab it by the handle.
Yes. Yeah. I have to hold it by the blade, and I'm good.
I agree with you, Chaos Aria. I would love to see Jason Isaacs come back, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I would love to see it as like maybe a guest appearance, or maybe he can show up like
flashback,
or if they go back in time.
Yeah, they have done flashback before, the episode that focused on Michael and Spock's dad.
Right.
Saru. Thank you. Brain farting all over the place today. Yeah, that episode they had flashback, so a flashback could be possible. That could be a thing.
Yeah, J-Tank also says that the hallway blazer gunfight scene was classic Next Generation. And he's right.
Yeah,
that's definitely something that you would have seen there, where they would have been like. I was rewatching it a few months ago, and one of the episodes I saw, they were on a planet that was basically a storefront for weapons dealers, and it was just probes. These probes were like shooting lasers at them, and every time they broke one of the probes or they destroyed one of the probes, it would come back smarter and more able to defeat them. And that's basically what that was.
Yeah.
It was just going back and forth. Ariel says that Isaacs told Entertainment Weekly that he only signed on for one season.
Womp womp womp.
So I mean, that kind of is a shame, but the Game of Thrones route, that's what happened with Sean Bean too.
Yeah. So Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
I hate that his name is Sean Bean because
Sean
Bond or Sean Bean,
yeah.
Anyway, he can't survive anything, but we could do a whole episode about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Brian thinks that they're going back in time too. So Brian, how far back do you think they're going to go? Is it just going to be 9 months to where they left, or do you think they're going to go even further behind that, or before that, to try and fix things that maybe they could prevent, like to maybe stop Michael from mutineering?
Oh, geez.
And to stop the battle, because we know
they could go all the way back and stop the Battle of the Binary Stars, and stop the war from even being a war.
Because I mean, so this episode cleared up a couple of things. We know for a fact that the mycelium network was being poisoned by what Mirror Stamets was doing.
So for everybody who's complaining about how come there's no Spore drive in the future,
right? So it would make sense that because they didn't want to do, they didn't want to harm the tardigrades.
Yeah.
So that they didn't want to do that. All of the stuff that Stamets went through and the potential for misuse, would make it a banned technology.
Yeah. So
at least for the Federation. I don't know about for anyone else, but. It's definitely a thing that the Federation will be like, nope, not happening anymore. We're done.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna. The Spore network is over. So thanks everybody who's complaining about that. You have your answer.
Right.
No more Spore drive.
So we're good with that. We also know from various interviews that have been done that the going into season 2, the writers are going to start weaving in things to tie it back into the main continuity.
Yes.
So that we know maybe why Spock doesn't talk about
having
Michael.
a sister.
Yeah, like I know there was a comic book or a novelization out there that had them going on an adventure together. Maybe they had a falling out, and it's like Cybok. Like we didn't know about Cybok until Star Trek V.
Yeah.
So I feel like complaints like that, where it's like, well, why didn't we hear about this before? Why didn't we hear about that before? We'll get explanations. It'll happen. It'll just take time.
I wonder if Cornwall will be the captain of Discovery in season 2. That's what I am curious about. I wonder who will be the captain during season 2. Will they promote Saru? Will it be Cornwall?
I was thinking
what
about
are we
that
gonna
too.
do?
I would love for it to be Saru.
I would too.
Only because in typical Star Trek, in any of the series that we've had before, and at least as far as the Federation, I don't remember seeing any alien captains.
Yeah.
Like there may have been one that popped up every once in a while, or a random super humanoid looking one. But
to have an alien captain.
But like a legit alien as captain would be Brian.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point. That's why I don't understand all those complaints. It's I feel like complaining about canon is
canon is mutable.
Yeah, I get the technology. I completely understand the argument about the way the technology looks and things not looking like
but
they
as far
did
as character and relationships,
but character and relationships, that stuff.
Canon's mutable.
Yeah, and even the visual effects, the visuals of it, I understand that argument. I just don't personally care, because to me it makes sense that things should look better because of where we are technologically now. But I understand why other people wouldn't feel the same way.
And I also would enjoy to see Saru as captain, just because we know that at some point his whole race has got to die, basically, because they don't exist ever. And he's already said how there's not that many of them. So
that's not necessarily true.
I feel like at some point they're gonna die.
Because there's plenty of races that we've
wow,
seen.
Brian, hate him except with soy sauce and sea salt.
Might need some wasabi.
Can we not with the eating the ganglions jokes again?
They're gonna keep going on.
Yeah, that's a thing now. It's gonna be a thing forever.
J Tank says, "Don't let Burnham be captain." I don't think that's gonna be a thing.
No, I don't either.
I think
the show is about her personal growth, but I don't think if she becomes captain, it won't happen until much later
seasons down the line. Yeah, but I don't think at this point even
that's
with
nowhere on their radar.
even with the good that she's been doing, I don't know that the Federation would be like, yeah, let's make her captain. That sounds like a really
right now,
good idea.
today.
Let's do it.
No, she was a mutineer less than 9 months ago.
Yeah, Ariel. I agree. By the end of the series, I think she'll at least be on her way to becoming captain.
Yeah,
again.
and I agree with that, Chaos Aria. It's her purpose. If they make her captain now, it kind of defeats her purpose and her growth structure.
Right. So, what other moments stood out? I can see your
I have
your
notes. Oh my
here.
God, make the Empire glorious again.
Oh, that was great.
This episode was not as one-linery or as punny as last week, but there were some good moments.
And honestly, that's one of the things that I like about this series.
It's culturally aware.
It's culturally aware. And from one episode to the next, you might get one that's super humor heavy, like the episodes that we got with Harry Mudd, or like the random one-liners, or, like certain situations like we have with Stamets.
Yeah.
But then there's other episodes where it takes it super serious.
Yeah, it's very action.
Yeah, you'll get humor to lift the mood a little bit, because if you keep it depressing, not depressing, but if you keep the tone,
it's hard to.
Yeah, you have to have your ups and your downs.
Yeah.
Your ebb and flow.
I mean, most of my notes are honestly about Saru. I loved how inspirational he was when he had to, talk to the crew and give them that speech and let them know what had happened.
Right. Oh, his speech at the end.
Right? It's our discovery now. This is her maiden voyage.
Not only that, but when he stood up there and he was like, look, my species has adapted to be able to tell when death is coming near. I don't feel that today. I was like,
how great was that?
They're going to die. that was immediately after he said that. I was like, that's it. They're done.
Yeah.
But no, obviously
that was
so
good. And he called Burnham my friend this episode, which is a huge if you go back at their relationship. And when he told her off in episode 3 because Georgiou was dead and it was her fault and he never got to be number 2 under her.
Right. I think he's finally coming to I think the mirror universe probably changed him in a lot of ways. Like he's now seeing things from a different perspective. And we don't know what losing Lorca has done to him
No.
mentally either, because like we've only got to see how,
Lost,
how he reacted in the moment.
He's lost 2 captains.
He's lost 2 captains, and one of them betrayed him.
Yes.
Sort of, I guess. Because we don't. I mean, to be fair, we don't know the circumstances in which.
Yeah, Lorca was not necessarily a betrayer.
Like
it's a gray area.
I'd like to see how Lorca ascended to being captain of the Discovery. Like, we know he had a plan in motion from the time that he went from the Mirror Universe into the Prime Universe.
Which was another line that I loved when he said, "I've been to another universe and back. Do you think I came here without a plan?"
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, we know that he did.
Yeah.
So I want to see what that plan was. Like, now that we're not going to get it out of him.
Well, I think we saw his plan during the course of the season. It was become captain,
but,
get Michael Burnham, go back.
I mean, like, I'd like to see how he got himself into that situation. I mean, obviously he took the
jumping
place.
over, I think, was timed it was very timely.
Yeah,
because Lorca's ship had just gone down. Basically.
Right. What I'm assuming from their discussion was that he had been transporting off of the Burnham and probably transporting at the same time that Prime Lorca had been transporting. Their ship got swapped.
Yeah.
Prime Lorca probably died in the swap, and now we have Mirror Lorca over here. But like, I'd like to see what happened from that point to him picking up Michael. Like, it doesn't have to be like I don't need like
you
like
need a comic book's worth, like a comic book.
Yeah. Just like some kind of a prequel comic book or something out there. Just be like, here's what it is. Yeah. Okay, Brian, you're gonna hate me for this. Brian said that they had a plan on BSG 2. I never watched the Battlestar Galactica reboot. It's on my list. Like,
it's a lot of TV. It's a lot of TV to get through.
It is. Like, it was one of those things where I was watching so much other stuff when it was on. I think I was in college maybe, or I was either in college or I was at the point in my social life where I was going out like every single night.
Yeah. And
I wasn't watching any TV. So I missed it.
If we're making nerd confessions, I've also never watched Doctor Who. Too much TV. I tried. Every episode's an hour long. There's so many episodes.
You can. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later. I will, Brian. I will go back and watch Battlestar Galactica though, just because it's good. Yeah, and like I'm doing this thing now where I'm going back and watching older TV shows. Like right now, I'm working my way through Stargate Atlantis. I started with Stargate Universe. I'm kind of going backwards.
Yeah.
So I'll go back and I'll watch Battlestar Galactica.
Brian says, "Yes, I hate you."
but I will forgive you for having the social life others might not have. It's probably not the best social life though. I was probably out playing D&D with friends. And, I mean,
going out every night and people are picturing clubs and like.
Oh, I was doing that too. I was doing that too, but I don't remember what night that was on. I was weird times in my 20s.
Everybody's 20s are weird.
Yeah. But no, I'll go back and watch Battlestar. Later on this year, myself and a couple of other people from this channel, and even from that hashtag show, are starting up a Throwback Thursday show where we're gonna go. We're gonna go and we're gonna look at old toys, old TV shows, old movies. So maybe a Battlestar Galactica rewatch is in the
cards for that. All right, I can see that.
We'll have to see. So what else? Let's get back to Star Trek.
Tilly and Stamets figured out how to get everybody home.
Yes.
So now they're home.
Yeah.
And
that was clever too.
It was very clever. And it looks like Culber is dead, which we had talked about this last week. If there was a way to bring Culber back,
So here's the thing: if they travel back in time, depending on, because we know that they overshot by 9 months.
Yes.
So if they overshoot going back, there's a potential
for them to grab Culber
before they actually make that change.
And if they don't grab Culber, then the ship needs a new doctor, because he was the head one.
Right.
He was the most in charge doctor. So
yeah,
that's a whole new thing.
Yeah. So now they need a new medical person. If they don't get Culber back, which is probably so. Like what I see happening is the rest of we're probably not gonna get a new head of medical.
No, not until next season.
Before the end of the season.
We've got 2 episodes left. They got a lot of shit to cover.
Yeah. Like someone else agreed with us up there, whereas like just too much.
There's too much to go through.
Episodes. So
yeah, Spore drive is over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sort of. I mean, you have to imagine that they're probably going to use it if they go back in time again.
If they go back, there's a big if, yeah.
But if that's what happens, they're going to have to use that to do that. But I think by the end of the season or early the beginning of next season, the Spore is.
I'm not convinced they're going to go back in time. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure. Brian brought up a good point. He said all the spores are gone because it took all their spores to make that jump.
Yeah.
So maybe they can't go back in time.
Yeah. I'm not convinced, and the only reason that I feel like maybe they will is because we've been so goddamn wrong the rest of the season.
Right.
We said it wasn't Mira Lorca. We said that it wasn't Ash Vogue. We said all this. We've been wrong the whole time.
So maybe if I say no, they're not going back in time.
Then they will go back.
They will go back in time.
Culber is definitely not coming back without a doubt.
Right. But on the other hand, we don't know that all the spores are actually gone.
Yeah.
Because as far as we saw, most, if not all, of
had been corrupted.
Their farm on the Discovery had been corrupted. But maybe now that he's repaired the network, potentially some of those plants may still be alive. So, and now we've got so this is actually an interesting shot. So this was our first look at the actual network from the inside, from like actual travel in the network, which reminded me a lot of the Doctor Who travel and like Bill and Ted through the time tubes.
It was very like typical kind of time travel-y looking.
Yeah. So I'm super interested to see where it's going. Like I don't know. What do you guys?
J Tank says he's not a big fan of time travel. I am a big fan of time travel in general. I don't like it in this plot yet. I won't say that. I won't guarantee that I don't like it. Maybe I will like it eventually if they do it.
I'm 50-50 with time travel. My issue is when it gets used to the point that's being abused as a like a Deus Ex Machina, where it's like, oh well, we're gonna fix everything by going back in time.
Fuck it, yeah.
If it was in the plan from the beginning, and you can tell that that's kind of where they were going, because like with this, okay, we're 9 months. We're 9 months in the future, so it would make sense from a story standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna try and go back. Whereas if it was the thing where they were like, no, let's just go back in time to yesterday and we'll fix this. Just like random decisions go back in time to fix things. I'm like, eh.
I know as a theory and as a fan of sci-fi, I do enjoy time travel. Butterfly Effect is one of my favorite movies.
I like arguing about time travel. Too.
Yes. Oh God, yes. But I don't think it's necessary in this plot point. I mean, Burnham brought back Georgiou for a reason. This Emperor Georgiou, who is a warmonger, admittedly, for a reason. They have her here. She could help them turn this war around without having to go back in time.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that would be more interesting.
Yeah.
Because, like, if they have to go forward with suffering all these losses that they did, and I think Star Trek people are going to lose their shit if this is what happens.
Yeah.
But if the time jump caused another break in the timeline, and now they're in a timeline that's separate from the Prime timeline and the Kelvin timeline.
Oh God,
that
we'll never hear the end of it.
A, we'll never hear the end of it. B, that kind of fixes
a lot of the issues.
Fixes the continuity problem, because now we're in an entirely new timeline. Mm-hmm. So everything going forward is going to be different.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they're going to do though. Like,
I don't think so.
That would...
I hope not. I don't think so. Maybe it's possible.
Because do we know, like any of you guys, I don't know if you will know this, but do we know if the Klingons kind of were winning that war at some point in time, like before the treaty?
In
the Prime timeline. Because if that never happened,
then they are split off in a different.
Then they have split off.
I honestly don't know enough about that war, and there was a comment left earlier by someone saying that it didn't seem right to them. I'm going to try and find it. Hold on. Yeah. Brian said, I don't think this Klingon war was really that referenced in the other canon in this manner, and poof, Spore Drive never happened. And it was when we were talking about Cybok and all the weird stuff.
Right. So it's entirely possible that they will go back, that somehow they'll find a way to go back in time. they'll fix everything, and in doing so, destroy. That's the other thing they could possibly do to fix it. Instead of banning the spore drive technology, somehow break the network so that it can survive, but no one can use the like regular people can't use the spore drive in that manner. This
version of the Klingon War either contradicts what we know about it, or we actually don't know enough about it, so they can write whatever they want to. It's basically what's going on.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how all this gets tied together.
I agree, J Tank. Last episode was very slow up until the last. Like,
it was also
3 minutes,
really short,
and it felt really short.
Yeah,
this episode felt longer, but it was completely action packed.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about how short that episode was, but
how many minutes was it? What time?
I think it was somewhere between like 38 and 40. Like most episodes are, I think,
about 45.
About 45.
Yeah.
So this one was about 7 minutes slower. Slower.
Shorter.
Oh,
And it felt slow. It was 7 minutes shorter, but it felt. I felt everything.
But I think it needed to be though.
Yeah.
Because not like I was saying before, not every episode needs to be like amped. Amped up. Not every episode needs to be
you can't,
like, super slow.
Going back to comparing this to other shows, look at Game of Thrones. Not every episode of Game of Thrones is action packed. There's some where they talk way too much.
Even Star Trek: The Next Generation, one of the best episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation, where Picard got his flute, and he's living that other lifetime. That was a slow moving episode.
Oh, this one was 43 minutes. Okay, this one,
yeah.
But this one did not feel like 43 minutes. It got to a point. It was like when
because it was moving quickly. When we got to the end, it came back. It was like next time on Discovery, I was like, oh,
well, it was right around when Georgiou and Burnham beamed back to the ship. I happened to look at the clock and I was like, oh god, this episode's almost over. Like it's been on for 40 minutes. It's got to end soon.
Yeah. So
what's gonna happen?
That's a lot to unpack.
What's gonna happen?
All right, so my fan fiction theory.
Yeah.
What I would like to
see
happen.
I will never say that things are gonna happen concretely because we're so wrong.
I think Georgiou's going to help or try to help them get themselves into a position where they can push back the Klingons. They're going to find out that it's not going to be as easy as they thought it was, and Stamets is going to find a way to get them to go 9 months back into the past, and they're going to make the tough decision that even though it might kill them, they're going to have to go back to the past to fix the future.
We gotta go back.
So that I think
Doc Brown is going to come out of somewhere looking at his watch.
I think the next episode is going to be all of them trying to get
Sarek and Georgiou
trying to figure out with Georgiou helping them, and then by the end of or by the middle of the next episode they're going to be like, fuck it, we got to go back in time.
Marty, we got to go back.
What about you?
I do not think that they are going to time travel. I think that Georgiou is going to help them win this war to the consternation of Sarek and Cornwall. I don't think either of them are going to like that plan.
Yeah.
But they are going to realize it's the best plan of action. She will help them, if not win the war, at least turn it to a point where they are, closer to winning. They'll push the Klingons back. And then at some point, Georgiou's going to have to disappear.
Yeah.
She's got to go. I don't know how she's gonna go, but she's got to go.
Yeah. She's probably. I see her doing almost the same thing that she tried to do this episode.
And that's what I think. That's what
she's gonna be like,
I think
look,
she might
just,
let me
just
die with honor. Send me in.
Yeah, send me in. I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Let me fix this shit for you.
Yeah. She'll sacrifice herself in that way.
Yeah. And Diggs, welcome Diggs. He said they have to either change history or jump to a parallel universe that fits with the TOS history. I'm of one of two minds with that. Like I was saying before, I think either A, that's what's going to happen, is that when they're going to have to go back in time and they're going to fix things, and from there things are going to start moving forward with things that we know or like tying back in with what we know, or they're gonna piss off fans even more. Like not necessarily. They're not necessarily going to piss off fans. They're going to annoy the people who are already annoyed with the changes.
Yes.
And they're going to be in
people who already didn't like Kelvin.
But
people
now
who were already.
I'm gonna ask you guys this.
Purists.
Like if this is yet a third timeline, and we're not in the Prime timeline anymore, and we're not in the Kelvin timeline, we're now in this new Discovery timeline because of what happened in this episode. Do you think that, like, I remember last week we were talking about that with Mirror Lorca, with whether or not that would bring people back and be like, oh, okay, well, since that is what's going on, now I'm going to go buy into it. If they said, okay, well, now going forward, we're in a completely different timeline, do you think that's going to change people's minds?
No, I don't think so. I think if anything, it'll make them stay away just because people were so irritated when they found out that Kelvin was its own timeline. Like, people were so mad about that.
Yeah.
And I think that the same, I think it'll garner the same kind of reaction.
Right,
that,
right, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
whatever.
I think it would actually go further than that. Like, I think you'll get people who are like, okay, well, I was on board, but now they're going into yet another timeline, now I'm out.
And that's why I would not...
Maybe convert a couple of people back. Like, I think it might feel like a weird thing.
It would not be enough to make me quit this show because clearly I really, really enjoy it. We're hosting this thing together. But it would annoy me, honestly. I would be
a little annoyed too. Like, I would get over it really quickly.
I'd get over it, but
I'd be like,
annoyed.
For me, it would be like a, all right, I'd be over it in like minutes.
It'd be like Tom and dying.
Brian brought up a good point here that there was zero reference to Ash.
Yeah, I said that earlier. I want to know how this is.
Well, we mentioned that we don't know what's going on with him in the future, but. Or, well, not the I guess technically it is
the future.
Yeah. But there's no reference to him. What else don't we know about? Like, there was no L'Rell in this episode.
But L'Rell's in the next episode.
We know that L'Rell's in the next episode. What else are we missing? Like, is there anything that we didn't get an answer to in this episode that was left hanging previously, other than whether there was
I think all of it's going to be answered because we haven't seen the Admiral in forever, and she's coming back next episode.
Right.
We know L'Rell's going to be next episode.
Right.
I don't think they can involve L'Rell without talking about Ash Vogue.
Right.
What else are we missing?
I don't know if there is anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's.
I think that's pretty much. We're pretty much good because any of the other random questions would now be from the Mirror Universe. Like, what happened to the people on that planet that got destroyed? Did any of them actually make it off?
Fuck it. Who knows?
Does it matter?
Fuck it. Does it matter? We're not going back there anyway.
Right. So yeah, I think we're almost like other than the major burning questions of the show, I think we're caught up with with most of the little dangling plot threads.
Was what Michael did to Georgiou unethical? She forced her to go to a universe she didn't want to go to. I don't think it's any more unethical than anything else that's happened on this show.
Which is
not to say that anything that has happened is ethical.
Yeah, like that's a hard question to answer.
She unkilled her.
I will for a real answer to that question, whether it was ethical or not, I will point you towards Chidi over on The Good Place, and hopefully he can help you discover what the ethical response would be.
We're just referencing all kinds of other shows tonight.
I'm like, sorry, like The Good Place is really good.
It is.
It's really good. I just watched the new episode Friday.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
It was fun. But yeah, I think that we're pretty much done with the episode.
Yeah.
So
it was an action. It was a banger. It was a banger.
Yeah. It was a good one. Thank all of you guys for coming in. I think we've had more of you guys in here talking in the chat than we've had in any of these previous episodes.
Yeah, it was great.
Love it.
It was hard to keep up.
Thanks, it was guys. Really, really hard to keep up. But I'm glad all of you guys are here. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I know I enjoyed talking about the episode. I'll let you plug your stuff first because I've got a laundry.
You got all the
advertisements. Yeah. So where can we find you online, and where can we see you next?
You can find me online at @Lambertra. It's my last name with an extra RAA at the end. That's Instagram, Twitter. I don't have a public Facebook. And you can see me tomorrow night talking about Marvel. I don't know what we're talking about because we haven't done PR notes yet, but we'll get there.
I'll figure that out. And then you've got DC later in the week, right?
No, maybe.
Maybe?
I'm generally not there, but I think I might fill in this week.
Right.
Yeah, I think I might fill in. So.
All right. So for me, you can find me online at The Goldman on Twitter. Like her, I don't have a public Facebook. I mean, you can find me if you dug around hard enough, but I'm probably not going to add anyone that I haven't met.
Yeah, no.
You can find me on Instagram at It's The Goldman, ITS The Goldman. And then I think I'm going to start streaming on our Twitch, and I just created a mixer for us. I have access to, and as well as a few others on our gaming team, we have access to the Sea of Thieves beta, which I don't know if you watched anything from E3, but it's a like a pirating game.
Yes.
And it's really fun. Like I've played a little bit on my own, but it's hard to do by yourself. So I might be playing that later tonight with Kelly, if timing works out, because after we're done here over on that hashtag show, they're going to take over for us. They're going to be moving in. They're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble. But other than that, check out the rest of the shows that we have here on Pop Culture Renegades. We have Kamen Rider Corner, which is going to be turning into the Henshin Hangout, and where they'll be talking about both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. We've got the Throwback Thursday show that's going to be coming up eventually. We've got Altered Carbon. So Altered Carbon's going to be interesting. I'm trying to work out a live tweeting system for that, because with Netflix shows it's really hard to do that. Like,
we talked about doing Black Mirror this year and we can't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, so like I did that once and we decided to do it too late, so there were only like 3 or 4 of us doing it. So with Altered Carbon, it's going to be interesting how we do that. We're going to be streaming the show live on Mondays. Whether we actually film it live or not, I'm not so sure. I think we're going to film it on Sunday and then do a replay on Monday. But I'll be jumping into the chat so I can chat with you guys about it. Other people that are on the show hopefully will be able to get in. But I want to live tweet. I don't know when I'm watching it yet. It drops on Friday. If you guys are going to be watching Altered Carbon, come back into the comments after this is over and let us know in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter and let me know. And hopefully we'll see you guys there. But I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah.
So make sure you subscribe if you haven't done that yet. With all the changes that YouTube are making, we need 1,000 subscribers before we can monetize after February 20th. And that's important.
That's important.
So please, I'm begging you. Really.
Yeah. We like to eat.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, we like food.
I like putting gas in my car. But really, guys, thank you so much for coming in. And we'll catch you guys next week on the Riker Maneuver. Peace out.
Oh, my hand.